Hello, Julie here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I got a bit carried away and started on this, but I have stopped before I've actually made and done anything. So I'm following, I was inspired by a video by Angela Kerr. It's part of the Journal Jigsaw collaboration with Rach and Bella Crafts, and she made this multi-flip embellishment, and I thought it was a great idea, so I'm going to make one today and show you how I did it. Now this I'm using Denise Boddey Design papers. They're from the Jardin Romantic range, and I've got 2 sheets and also one of these CD envelopes. I've got a whole box of these, and anytime I get the opportunity to use them up, I'm pretty happy. Now what I've done to start with, I've cut my, because I'm using 12-inch sheets. Angela used A4 sheets, so hers is slightly different to mine, and I am making them in a size to fit into this journal. So these pages are about 4 3/4 wide, so I'm making mine to fit in here. If you're making it, you can make whatever width you like, just adjust the sideways measurements. So and this is the full A4 height, so I'm making the same height as the one that Angela did, but I'm adjusting the width. So I have cut this to 7.5 inches, is it? Let me have a quick look. I think it was 7.5. Yes, 7.5 inches, and I've left the 12 inches there because I'm going to cut it off anyway eventually, but yeah. So, and then I have scored it at 4 inches. Now, 4.5 inches. Now, as I said, I'm making it to fit in here. Angela made hers a bit wider, but this is going to fit into my journal nicely. So that's as far as I've got. Now I've picked this paper, and it's double-sided paper. You don't need double-sided paper because you don't see the inside. But all of Denise's papers are double-sided, so that's what I'm going with. Now our next job is to cut this off so that it's about 1/2 inch. We've got about 1/2 inch here. Probably wouldn't hurt if we had a bit more. So I'm going to do 5/8, just like that. And then I'm going to take my scoreboard and just score along that edge. So that doesn't look, that's not exactly lining up. So I'm going to just trim that off so that it does. Got that nicely lined up there. Okay, that's a bit better. I don't like it when things don't line up properly. Okay, so now I'm going to score this along the edge of this top layer. I'm just going to leave a little fraction so that it wraps around that nicely. So that is going to fold in like that, so I probably should have scored it on the other side. And I know I've cut my birdie off, but you can still see it's a bird. That was, it would have worked out alright if I was doing the slightly wider one, but I just couldn't fit that in. Now I'm going to glue this together. So run your glue along this flap, which is going to be on the inside, so we're making a pocket. And then glue along the bottom. Make sure I've got that the right way, which I think I have. Fold that in and glue that down. I'm going to take my bone folder and just burnish that. Let me get a wipe. I'm hopeless with glue. I always use too much because I fear that something might come undone, and that would be worse. I just hate the thought of something I'm making being used by somebody and it falls apart. That's not a good look. Now I'm going to use my 2-inch punch. Well, I'm using my 2-inch punch because it's the only circle punch I've got, and I'm going to punch a little thumbnail in the top of this. I'm sort of just guessing at about the middle. So there we go. Now, if you're an inker, now's the time to ink. Actually, I would normally stitch, and if I had have thought about it, I should have stitched across the top of this before I closed it. Not good. Anyway, I'll have to do that next time, won't I? So I'm inking both sides. I will stitch around the outsides of this, I just won't stitch across the top. Okay, so now we need to make another pocket. So I'm using a new sheet for this because the offcut that I had is not going to be tall enough. So we need to cut our second paper 5 3/4 inches tall. So do I want this or this? I think I'll go for the bottom section. So I'll trim that. Sorry, I've got so much stuff around here. I'll trim that off. And then I'm going to trim it at 5 3/4 inches, which is right there. That will be quite good. Okay. So now this one we're going to score at 4 inches from the right. So let's go 4 inches is there. So remember, I'm using 12-inch paper, so if you're using your A4 you'll need to just adjust that. You might want to turn it around and score 4 inches from this end, but because this is 12 inches it's pretty easy for me to work out where the 4-inch mark is. Okay, then we're going to fold that back like we did last time, burnish that down, and then we're going to trim, oops, 1 inch wider. We're going to allow an inch on this one. This is not going to close our pocket, this is going to be used as a flap. So that's that. And now I'm going to score that just there. Okay. Right, now I'm going to learn from my lesson from this one, and I'm going to go and stitch around it. So I'll stitch around both of these. Of course I won't be able to stitch around the top of that, but I will around this one. So I'll do that and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I've stitched around them both. This is my top here, and I've got the flap on my right. I forgot to put the thumb notch in this one, so before you stitch, put your thumb notch in if you're going to put a thumb notch in. Now we can attach this to our pocket. So just glue along here. Make sure we've got our top up and pop that on there. Now I'm going to put it up like that much, just over 1/4 inch I'd say, and pop that in there so it's a snug fit, so it's right up against the edge there. Over the back and burnish that down. It's always a good idea to run over the back of your stitching with your bone folder. It just flattens it down and makes it a little more comfortable. Okay, now we're going to work on our CD folder, CD pocket. First of all, we need to cover this, and I want a different one because this is going to go over there, so I don't want to use the same paper. That one's not wide enough, so I'll use the other side of this one, so it's going to be plain blue, well, plainish blue, although that looks alright, doesn't it? Yeah, I'll do this, I'll use this piece, although I'm going to cut a circle out of that, so, but that'll be nice. So the CD cover is just under, well, I'm going to mark it, that's probably good. Actually I need to cover both sides, so I'm going to cut both sides. I'm going to just put that on there like that and mark it so that I've still got room there for the fold. Where's my pencil? Pencil, pencil, pencil. Here we go. So just cut that there, and the depth is here. Let's cut that. There and there. How does that fit? Very good. That fits very well. And I want to do the same thing for the back. So I'm going to just put my little pencil mark here and here, and cut that one out as well. Okay. So I have got 2 of those that are the same size. One of them I'm going to stick onto the back of the pocket, like so, and one of them is going to go on the front of the pocket, like so. But the front one is going to have a hole cut out of it. So I think I might use this one on the back because that's pretty. And that doesn't have a hole cut out of it. And this one on the front, like so. Alright. So let's stick the inside one on first. Let's get rid of this. Actually, I probably should stitch around these first. Okay, Now, because I want to cut the centre out of this and I want it to be positioned correctly, I'm going to lay my die here where I want the die to cut out of this piece, and then I'm going to place this piece of paper onto my pocket where I want it to be stuck, and then I'm going to just run my fingers over that like that, and hopefully that will stick in the place where I'm going to die cut it. So I'm going to take this to my die cutting machine now, and then once I've die cut that circle out, I'm going to stitch around the middle as well. Okay, so there we go. I've cut my circle out and I've stitched around the edge. Now that die came from this Spellbinders Standard Large Circles, and it's the largest one of those, and it's actually just the perfect size, to be quite honest. Okay, so now I can I'll stick this back one on first, put it that way, yep. Cut that off. So now I want to, I'll stick the front on. Let's do that. Run some glue around the circle as well, so that that sticks down. And pop that on there so that I've got the bottom lined up and this side lined up perfectly. Okay, here's my bone folder. Okay, so there we go. So there we've got our CD pocket, but we have to trim the top off. So just trim along here, just a fraction to open that. So now we've got that open like so. So we've got open on two sides. Now we have to glue along this side to close the pocket up and leave it open at the top. So let's run some glue along there. Right to the top. Right to the bottom, and seal that up. Okay, now this one gets attached to this one. And I've just realised that because my that's going to poke out. That is going to poke out of my folio. So let's say well, I can't put it on that side. So let's say I put it on there, it's going to poke out like that, which will be, that can go there like that, that can open like that, that can open like that, and that can open like that, and that can open like that. I wonder if that will work. Well, do you know what? I'm going to make it anyway, and if it doesn't work, I'll just put it in another journal. I would like it to work on here. This is my back cover, so I'm hoping that it will work there. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to ink around this. You could put a thumb notch in that too, I guess, if you wanted to. But you'd have to have a fairly shallow one because you haven't got a lot of space at the top here. Okay. So now this gets attached to that. Oh no, it doesn't. It gets attached to that. Yes, it gets attached to the back of that. So that's not quite so bad, is it? I still don't think it will fit inside, but we'll see how we go. Okay, so fold that over, add our glue. I didn't really check whether that is the right height for what I wanted or not. We'll have to do that. Yeah, that looks about right, doesn't it? It's about centrally on that second pocket. Lay that down there and burnish that down. And there we have it. Now, of course, this will be embellished, and there's plenty of, and there's a pocket there, there's a pocket there, there's a pocket there. And they all fold out and they'll be all embellished. And now let's try it on the inside here. If I attach that on there like that, it will just fit. It will just fit. So that might be exactly what I do, I think. Put that on the inside of my front cover, because this is the front cover. It opens out. They open out flat, so that's good. Yeah, whew, just made it. Just made it. So, now I'm going to, so you won't see this side of it, this will be attached. Now you can attach it to your page, so you've got another pocket behind that pocket. I'm probably not going to bother about that. I'm just going to attach it fully to my page. But first of all, I'm going to decorate these a bit, and I'm going to let that dry properly. Actually, I might just add a little bit more glue to that. Doesn't seem to be sticking perfectly. Must have missed that spot, I think, with my glue. So, okay, so I'm going to clean this stuff up, and I'm going to gather up my supplies to do my embellishing, and then I'll be right back. I need to make a nice journaling card to go in here, so we've got something nice to look at through that window. So, yes, I'll clean up and then I'll be back. Okay, so I have got a heap of fussy cuts here that I have cut out of the pattern paper, or an assortment of pattern papers. And actually I was thinking of putting those two on there. Now I don't want anything to overlap anywhere on this, so I've got to be really careful that nothing pokes over the edges. But I can easily trim that off a bit, and I actually think I like that on there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to trim that and around that. I think it goes that way actually. And I'm going to put that on there. Now I've got this mesh, I think it was wrapped around some flowers that I got, and it's a fine mesh, but it's got a gold fleck in it, and you can see it's getting gold flecks everywhere now. So I'm going to cut a piece of that. These are probably not the best scissors to do it with, but so I'm going to do that, and I'm going to just cut a thin piece of that, or a narrow piece should I say, and I'm going to cut that off to about there, and I'm going to lay this behind that flower. I'm going to stick that down first like that, and then my flower will go on top of that, so that that just sort of peeks out. Actually, there might be enough there that it can peek out a bit on the top and the bottom. It will. So yeah, I'm going to put that on there like so. But first of all, of course, I have to ink around this. So when I'm doing my inking, I am going to put all of that sort of stuff on fast forward, and I'm sure you don't want to sit there and listen or watch me ink at normal speed, so I won't be talking through that. So you will notice that I stuck each of those little pointy end out bits down. I don't want anything catching or lifting from here. So that's going to be enough embellishment for that. I have got, I think that's enough embellishment for that. So now this one, what should we put on this one? Let's have a look what we've got here. That's way too big. Let's have a look in this pile. Some leaves. Because we've got that pretty picture on there, we probably don't need a great deal on here. Maybe just something like that, with a bit of this behind it, maybe. What do we think of that? Or we could go for something a bit more, a bit smaller. So we could use, say, something like that. So we can still see plenty of that. And a smaller piece of this, just behind there like so. I'm liking that, but is that going to be, it's a bit bulky for closing that over, so that one with the brad in it might not be the one. And this one's going to be too bulky as well, because you can see how fat that is. Let's have a look if I can find some flowers the same colour as that. So there's a flower, and perhaps a or even perhaps we could go for these 2 white flowers on here to, you know, as a contrast to those pink flowers or burgundy flowers. And perhaps a label. I'll put them on there. That will still close alright. So that's one option. I've got a bird. I could set a bird on there. The bird's tail will poke out, so that's not going to happen. What else have I got? I've got another one of those. I've got a smaller one of these. Perhaps one of those and one of those. Quite like that. What do you think? There's so much in here. Got a butterfly. Doesn't really blend in with those colours, which is unusual. I think I'm going to go for that. I want that second white one on there as well. Not really. So that's going to be it for that one. So once again, I'll fast forward you through the inking. I think that's supposed to go that way. That's how I'm going to put it anyway. Now, I'll go and get some labels. Okay, so I've got a label here. I've got a whole container of them here. I've inked around it and I'm going to attach that on here. So I'm just going to attach that under there like so. Okay, now this one, perhaps if I put something up the top on this one. Something just like that. Because we've got plenty of pattern down here and I don't really want to cover all that up. And I think that's too big. I think that might go, I'm not sure which way that goes, but it's too big anyway for this particular thing. So I'm going to put this up here. So I'm not sure whether I want to add some of this with this as well or not. So I've got a bit here. Do I need it? Let's have a look. Yes, I do like it there. So let's cut that off about there. And then we can attach this here. So there we go. Actually, I think there's supposed to be a pocket on that. So let me have a look for a piece of paper. There's that piece. Or there's this piece, which is a bit higher, I think. Yep. Okay, so what I'll do is I will cut that off there. Then I will go to my sewing machine and stitch around this. Oh, I could have put gussets on that, couldn't I? I think it's too late now. If I put gussets on it now, I could put small ones and it would fit inside of the stitching. So let's try that. So I'll just do little 1/4 inch gussets. Okay, let's cut those corners off. And this one. Just trim that down on a slight angle. And this one. And we can fold those over. So there's not much fold over there, but there is a bit. So this is going to make this slightly smaller than the page, but I'm happy with that because it fits inside of my stitching. Okay, so I'm going to go and stitch on this and then I'll be right back. Okay, so there we go, I've stitched around that. Now I'm going to attach it to this pocket. Not very big gussets, but they will give me a little bit of extra playroom there. Just make it a bit easier to fit some things in the pocket. There we go. Just put my ruler in there and make sure I haven't got glue coming out. No, that feels dry enough. Okay, so now that we've got that there, we probably need to put a little something on there. Oops, daisy. What about the blue? I like the blue. That one's a bit bright, but I can use that one. I think that would be right. I think I might just do that. A little bit of something, but not too overpowering. I want a little piece of this. So there we have it. That's my project for today. As I said, I saw this on Angela Kerr's channel. It's part of the Journal Jigsaw collaboration with Rach and Bella Crafts. I'll put a link to Angela's video in the description box. So we've got our front pocket, which is top pocket. I will make journaling cards and tags and things to go in here at a later date. So that opens up. We've got space here. We've got another top opening pocket here. And that opens up. We've got a pocket here. We've got this area here. And we've got a top pocket here. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. 4 pockets. And I'm going to attach that to the inside cover of this flip-flop journal. So that is going to be attached in there like that. And I'm probably going to bring it down fairly low so that I've got room there for my tag. Actually, why don't I attach it now? So I hope everybody is well. I don't know how things are going there, but things are going pretty well here as far as the weather and everything's concerned. We're having quite nice days because of course it's autumn here now. And yeah, there's always plenty of things happening. Also, I just wanted to remind you that if you're not already a subscriber, I'd love it if you did subscribe to my channel. I'm trying hard to increase my subscribers, so I'm nearly at 3,000, which is quite a milestone in itself, but you know, we always set ourselves goals, don't we? So that is stuck down there very well, I hope. And that will close, and that will close, and that will close. So yes, it works. Hooray. I was a bit worried that it wasn't going to work there for a few minutes. Alright, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, I'd love it if you'd give me a thumbs up or leave a comment, any of those nice things. And I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.